Did all the groups present? Night, everybody. Good evening or good evening. Did all the groups present?
Good evening, sir. No, sir. Remember, we had two groups remaining.
Right. Okay. So I don't think you were supposed to have sent a video, or do you have the video, Georgette?
Yes, sir. I have it.
Okay. Have you uploaded it to YouTube?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I
That's
thought you
okay.
said to send it to your email.
Okay. That's okay. All right. When the groups
Okay.
are here, so give me a few minutes until the groups are here. What we might do is to start the other leg of the lecture until they get here. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
So let's wait another 10 minutes or so to see if they turn up.
All right, sir.
All right. So let's do the presentation a little later. Today we're going to start talking about TED Talks. What are TED Talks and all of that. So first of all, I want for you just to do a cursory glance on Google and tell me what's your understanding of TED Talk or of a TED Talk, okay? You're hearing me?
Yes, Mr. Clark.
All right, so you can post it in the chat or we can have a discussion. Let me give you about 5 minutes or so. Yes, any definition of TED Talk? What's our definition of TED Talk? All right, so Natalia are influential videos from expert speakers, education, business, science, tech, creativity, etc., created from a presentation at the main TED conference. Yes, that's one quote unquote definition of TED Talk or TED Talks. Anything from Georgette Oran, Wong Su, Lysiane Parks, who is always silent and you're not sure if he's there.
I am here, sir.
Based on what I am reading, it's saying that it should be 18 minutes or less.
18 minutes or less. In other words, it's very succinct.
Short.
Yes, very succinct to the point. Luke Harris, I don't think I've seen you in years in this class. Where have you been? Let me.
Good evening, sir. I just missed class last week, Wednesday, sir. Anna Salam.
Anna Salam. Okay, just checking. All right, so Georgette says inspirational videos from influential persons. I don't know that TED Talks are meant to be inspirational. I think they can be, but I don't think their overall objective is to be inspirational or just to be inspirational. I think the category of inspirational videos it's a category in and of itself versus a TED Talk that can be inspirational, but more in line with what Natoya posted about the looking at various areas or various disciplines. Okay, yes. So let's look or let's listen to one of the founders of TED Talk and what she has to say. All right, so you should be taking notes because you're actually going to get outside of developing your own TED Talk, you're going to get a graded activity that is going to be placed on Canvas related to the conversation we're having now about TED Talk. Please listen.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Natalie MacDonald and you're watching Dukascopy TV. Up next, I'm joined now by TEDx coach and also founder and owner of the professionalspeakercoach.com, Laura Penn. Laura, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Natalie. It's great to be here.
No problem at all. Now, we're going to be talking about TED and also TEDx. Firstly, what is TED for those of our viewers that may have been living under a rock for the last few months?
TED stands for Technology, Entertainment and Design. And in 1984, a group of professionals in those three areas got together and thought it would be a good idea to create a conference where ideas could be shared about these subjects and people could become inspired. Ideas could be spread. And that's where TED Talks were born.
What then is the difference between TED and also TEDx, which I know you're involved with?
The X in TEDx stands for Independently Organized Event. And this means that it's not the people behind TED who are organizing the event, it's a completely different group of people. It could be a church, it could be a school, it could be a business or an organization. They have received a license from TED, a free license, to conduct TED-like events. And these events feature talks, performances, just the same sorts of things that a TED Talk would have, but it's organized by someone else.
How then did you become involved in TEDx as a coach?
Well, Natalie, I have three loves. The first one is science. I'm a conservation biologist. The second one is public speaking. I'm a Toastmaster and I compete a lot in public speaking events. And the third one is performing arts. I'm a dancer and I do a lot of theater. And I merged these three loves 5 years ago and found myself coaching my colleagues, my scientific peers, who don't have a very good reputation for being able to speak well. So I had my work cut out for me, but I was helping them to create effective messages and to really say what they wanted to say better. And this caught the attention of a few people who were organizing a TEDx event in the Geneva area. And they asked if I would be their coach, and I happily signed on, and I've been a TEDx coach ever since.
With sort of all of that in mind then, can you give us some insight into what makes a good TED or TEDx talk then?
You know, TED/TEDx talks, they are an organism completely to themselves. They are a potent cocktail of all sorts of public speaking and rhetorical ingredients. So essentially you've got a formula or a structure which starts normally with a very provocative beginning. The speaker will say something that shocks the audience or something profound, and that's sort of the bridge, the in that the speaker has with the audience. This catches the hook for the audience. And then the speaker will go into a narrative, and this is a beautiful tapestry of storytelling techniques, anecdotes, all woven in with vocal variety and body language, all this sort of mixture working together, telling a story, something interesting, something empowering or passionate. And then the TED Talk tends to end with a call to arms, an action or something that the audience can be inspired to think or do or say. And this sort of is the general formula for a TED Talk. And my job as a speaker coach is to bring out these elements in the speaker, to rehearse. A good talk has been rehearsed about 100 times. I mean, what you see on TED or TEDx talks looks like a casual conversation, a dude or a woman on a red circular rug having a conversation with the audience. It looks quite casual, but it's not. There's hundreds of hours of practice and work, detailed choreography even, of moving an arm here, of saying this here, of talking slowly, quickly. So it really is quite a mélange, a mixture of work that ends up in a good talk, an idea worth spreading.
Laura, thank you so much for coming in, and we look forward to future discussions and you sharing your insight a little further.
Thank you very much.
That's all we've got time for right.
All right, so talk to me. What is TED? What is a TED Talk, or what is TED?
Sir, my understanding from a TED Talk is that it's telling an interesting story, sir.
Telling an interesting story, yes. Anything else?
And it's
pretty much inspiring people and your passion, things that you like about yourself or your development.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
the acronym TED is for technology, entertainment and design.
Sir, it is a combination of I lost the word. Hold on, sir.
So basically what I'm seeing then is like professionals from each of those headings, technology, entertainment and design, would basically set up a conference and they speak on those subjects, hoping that from it the audience will spark some ideas from any one of those topics.
Yes. And what's the general, what was said, what's the general structure of a TED Talk according to one of the coaches? What's the general structure?
You start with like a shocker,
So with a hook?
right? And you go into a narrative, then you end on a positive or an inspirational note,
And with a call to arms.
right?
All right. So TED Talk is very, 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 very important. So let's listen a little bit. Yes.
Are you saying TED? It sounds like I said TED.
I said TED, sir. I'm not sure what you're hearing, sir.
It sounds TED-ish.
No, I said TED. TED Talk, sir. Something might be wrong on your end, but I'm sure I said TED. Anybody heard I said TED, or did you hear what Lissaid is saying, or is it that?
No, sir, I heard TED.
I heard, yeah, I know I said TED. I'm not sure what's happening with Lissaid. All right, Lissaid is probably distracted.
Here's our work on.
Yes. All right, so let's listen a little bit more in terms of the secret to great public speaking from a TED Talk perspective. And you must be taking notes, all right, guys? You have to be taking notes because one, you're going to have to identify a TED Talk and critically analyze it. All right, that's very, very important. So I want for you to be paying attention to what they say the TED Talk is, how you structure it, because you're going to have to identify these particular things in the TED Talk. And then when you're finished, you have to produce your own TED Talk, and it has to be properly branded, and it has to be uploaded to your YouTube channel. Okay, so please pay particular attention. I think I did turn on the, let me just double check if I turned on the, yes, it is checked.
Some people think that there's a TED Talk formula. Give a talk on a round red rug, share a childhood story, divulge a personal secret, end with an inspiring call to action. No, that's not how to think of a TED Talk. In fact, if you overuse those devices, you're just going to come across as cliched or emotionally manipulative. But there is one thing that all great TED Talks have in common, and I would like to share that thing with you. Because over the past 12 years, I've had a ringside seat listening to many hundreds of amazing TED speakers like these. I've helped them prepare their talks for prime time and learned directly from them their secrets of what makes for a great talk. And even though these speakers and their topics all seem completely different, they actually do have one key common ingredient. And it's this. Your number one task as a speaker is to transfer into your listeners' minds an extraordinary gift, a strange and beautiful object that we call an idea. Let me show you what I mean. Here's Hayley. She is about to give a TED Talk, and frankly, she's terrified.
Hayley Van Dyke.
Over the course of 18 minutes, 1,200 people, many of whom have never seen each other before, are finding that their brains are starting to sync with Hayley's brain and with each other. They're literally beginning to exhibit the same brainwave patterns. And I don't just mean that they're feeling the same emotions. There's something even more startling happening. Now let's take a look inside Hayley's brain for a moment. There are billions of interconnected neurons in an impossible tangle. But look, here, right here, a few million of them are linked to each other in a way which represents a single idea. And incredibly, this exact pattern is being recreated in real time inside the minds of everyone listening. That's right. In just a few minutes, a pattern involving millions of neurons is being teleported into 1,200 minds just by people listening to a voice and watching a face. But wait, what is an idea anyway? Well, you can think of it as a pattern of information that helps you understand and navigate the world. Ideas come in all shapes and sizes, from the complex and analytical to the simple and aesthetic. And here are just a few examples shared from the TED stage. Sir Ken Robinson, creativity is key to our kids' future.
My contention is that creativity now is as important in education as literacy, and we should treat it with the same status.
Elora Hardy, building from bamboo is beautiful.
It is growing all around us. It's strong, it's elegant, it's earthquake resistant.
Chimamanda Adichie, people are more than a single identity.
The single story creates stereotypes, and the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete.
Your mind is teeming with ideas, and not just randomly. They're carefully linked together. Collectively, they form an amazingly complex structure that is your personal worldview. It's your brain's operating system. It's how you navigate the world. And it is built up out of millions of individual ideas. So, for example, if one little component of your worldview is the idea that kittens are adorable, then when you see this, you'll react like this. But if another component of your worldview is the idea that leopards are dangerous, then when you see this, you'll react a little bit differently. So it's pretty obvious why the ideas that make up your worldview are crucial. You need them to be as reliable as possible a guide to the scary but wonderful real world out there. Now, different people's worldviews can be dramatically different. For example, how does your worldview react when you see this image?
What do you think when you look at me? A woman of faith, an expert, maybe even a sister, or oppressed, brainwashed, a terrorist?
Whatever your answer, there are millions of people out there who would react very differently. So that's why ideas really matter. If communicated properly, they're capable of changing forever how someone thinks about the world and shaping their actions both now and well into the future. Ideas are the most powerful force shaping human culture. So if you accept that your number one task as a speaker is to build an idea inside the minds of your audience, here are 4 guidelines for how you should go about that task. 1, limit your talk to just one major idea. Ideas are complex things. You need to slash back your content so that you can focus on the single idea you're most passionate about and give yourself a chance to explain that one thing properly. You have to give context, share examples, make it vivid. So pick one idea and make it the through line running through your entire talk so that everything you say links back to it in some way. 2, give your listeners a reason to care. Before you can start building things inside the minds of your audience, you have to get their permission to welcome you in. And the main tool to achieve that? Curiosity. Stir your audience's curiosity. Use intriguing, provocative questions to identify why something doesn't make sense and needs explaining. If you can reveal a disconnection in someone's worldview, they'll feel the need to bridge that knowledge gap. And once you've sparked that desire, it will be so much easier to start building your idea. 3, build your idea, piece by piece, out of concepts that your audience already understands. You use the power of language to weave together concepts that already exist in your listeners' minds, but not your language, their language. You start where they are. But speakers often forget that many of the terms and concepts they live with are completely unfamiliar to their audiences. Now, metaphors can play a crucial role in showing how the pieces fit together because they reveal the desired shape of the pattern based on an idea that the listener already understands. For example, when Jennifer Kahn wanted to explain the incredible new biotechnology called CRISPR, she said, "It's as if for the first time you had a word processor to edit DNA. CRISPR allows you to cut and paste genetic information really easily." Now, a vivid explanation like that delivers a satisfying aha moment as it snaps into place in our minds. It's important, therefore, to test your talk on trusted friends and find out which parts they get confused by. 4, here's the final tip. Make your idea worth sharing. By that I mean, ask yourself the question, who does this idea benefit? And I need you to be honest with the answer. If the idea only serves you or your organization, then I'm sorry to say it's probably not worth sharing. The audience will see right through you. But if you believe that the idea has the potential to brighten up someone else's day, or change someone else's perspective for the better, or inspire someone to do something differently, then you have the core ingredient to a truly great talk, one that can be a gift to them and to all of us.
All right, talk to me. What are some of the takeaways from this particular audiovisual?
Sir, that like the main importance of a TED Talk is to transfer an idea into the audience's mind.
Yes. Anything else?
And also speak about something that you're passionate about.
Yes. Anything else?
Yeah, it also helps to change somebody's or one's perspective on a particular matter or a particular topic.
Or not necessarily, not only change, but even become more informed.
Zoom in on one particular idea and develop from there.
Right, and I did type in the chat your broad / your narrow topic. That's the one idea that you want them to look at. Yes, anything else?
It's also said that you have to be creative and make your idea worth sharing. So pretty much is saying that the idea shouldn't be useful to just you or your organization, but in the general world.
Right, yes.
And
Anything else?
Also, sir, say that to speak in a language that the audience can understand and relate to.
Yes. Anything else? Dana Spear is very silent. I know her voice.
Sir, I was the first one to answer, you know.
You really? Okay,
Yes,
just
I
check
was the
it.
one that said to transfer an idea into the audience's mind.
Okay. All right. So the speaker also talked about the fact that you have to give the audience a reason to listen. And part of how you do that is by stirring their curiosity using, for example, startling statements or rhetorical questions. And I'm sure you saw where the Muslim, she asked, "What do you see when you look at me?" And I can tell you, it's interesting that she said that, because even where I'm in Canada, every day I experience racism is like so crazy. And I said to myself, no, I see why some of my friends don't, even as much as Canada is wonderful and some of these countries are wonderful, but to get up every day as a Black person and people are looking at you as a metaphor. Yeah, as I said, because Lorian says type metaphor and I'm reading it as a metaphor. They see you as a criminal, automatically assuming that you're a criminal, and they don't even know you. So again, the question is, what do they see when they see me? You know, and anybody who has never seen, we have Netflix. Maybe first, anybody has Netflix? Let me ask that first, because some of us are not on
Yes,
Netflix.
sir.
Have Netflix, right? You should watch the movie when the short series or the limited series when they see us. Very interesting. So getting back to what I was talking about, stirring the curiosity of the audience, and also building the ideas and making sure that the ideas are worth sharing. And I think some persons were making some thought, and yes, Lorian rightly says, using, for example, metaphors, things that people can relate to, things that are in their everyday life. That is what is going to help them to understand, especially if you're talking on particular topics that are very complex. Or let me just go back through the list to find out the areas of focus. What's your, Wang Su, what is your narrowed and or broad topic? Can you remind me? Or do I need to give you guys some time to kind of find those, go back and find because we had paused there in order for you guys to do the PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, sir, to go back and find it.
Okay, all right, so everybody are giving you a few minutes to find your broad and narrow topic, because that's where we are now. All right, so let me go. Social White, can you broad and narrow topic? Not getting an answer. Oren Walters, broad and narrow topic.
I had animal cruelty for broad topic. Ways in which animal cruelty can be prevented in Jamaica as narrow topic.
Okay, all right. Natalia Watson, broad and or narrow topic.
Sir, hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, my broad topic was parenting in the 21st century. My narrow topic is challenges associated with parenting in LGBT family in the USA.
Okay. Luke Harris, go ahead for me. Broad and narrow topic.
Yes, sir. Broad topic, workplace safety. Narrow topic, ways in which site managers can prevent accident on the work site.
All right, so it's safety. There's no such word as safety, okay? It's safety.
Safety.
Yes. That was Luke. Lori and Harper, go ahead for me.
Mine was nepotism in the workplace, and
Mine is, not was, mine is, it still
yes,
is.
sir, mine is nepotism in the workplace. That's the broad topic, and the narrow topic is how does nepotism affect productivity in the workplace?
No, that's not your broad topic. So your broad topic is workplace politics. And your no, I'm telling you, what you just read to me is your narrow topic and your questions. I'm not sure where you got that from. So can you just tell me what you call your broad topic again?
Hold on, sir. I'll just close it out. Sir, hold on a second.
Okay. While she's looking for her stuff, Lysiane Parks, go ahead for me.
Yes, sir. Coming up, Mr. Chair, I find it the broad topic was issues in religion.
Has it changed? So why are you using the past tense?
I'm sorry. It is. I changed the narrow topic. I'm trying to find it. So just give me a minute, please.
Okay. Kemisha War, go ahead for me.
So you can give me how many please? I'm looking for mine.
Okay. Carlene Wilson, go ahead for me.
Sir, my broad topic is milestone in science, and the narrow topic is the potential medical benefits of cloning in America.
You sure you want to take on something that technical? Didn't I give you guys some additional broad and narrow topic? I think I made some addition. Didn't I give you some additions? I thought, I'm almost sure I did.
So you cannot throw it on us suddenly, we'll put that down for a little while.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say I'll give you some time. But I don't know that, Carlene, that one might be a little bit technical for you because you're not in the scientific field. So it might pose some challenges for you because it's going to use certain jargons and it might be too technical and all of that. Let me think of something to give you.
Okay, sir.
Or if you can come up with something, okay? But I think that one is going to be a little bit challenging for you.
All right, so can you share or I should go back on the ones that you have posted already?
Let me think of one and give you, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I think those ones, they kind of have exhausted them, so let's not go back there. Kamalia Harrison, go ahead for me.
Yes, sir. My broad topic is mental health, and my narrow topic is how schizophrenia.
I only heard how schizophrenia. I haven't.
Okay,
I
so
didn't hear any. Yeah, go ahead.
The narrow topic is how schizophrenia affects college students in the United States.
All right. No, I don't want you to do that. That's kind of cliche. All right, you need to do something else other than that topic. I don't know that you're going to inspire anybody with doing that. Junior Rumble, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Broad topic, parenting in the 21st century. Narrow topic, the role of men in the 21st century. Families, something like that. I'm on the road.
So we're going to change that as well. Okay, that's kind of a very one that we have looked at so many years. So let's look at another one. Georgette Richards, what are you looking at?
Sure, my topic is health education, the broad topic. And the narrow topic is how to control gestational diabetes in women.
All right. Dana Spear, did you tell me yours? I don't remember if you told me yours.
No, sir, I didn't share mine. So it's the broad topic is parenting in the 21st century, and the narrow topic is the effects of social media on parenting in the USA in the 21st century.
Okay. All right, let me give you a different one. I don't like that one. I have an idea. Hold on. Let me just vet it first. So how the dark web is used to fight in cyber warfare. Do you know?
Yes, sir.
How the dark web is used to fight cyber wars.
All right, sir.
Please write it down. You're not going to ask me what did I tell you?
Sir, I wrote it down.
All right, good. Wong Su, go ahead for me.
Sir, the broad topic is, sorry, issues in religion. And the narrow topic is the effects of unlawful practices by religious leaders on the reputation of the church in Jamaica.
Okay. And you're okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Anybody else who have you some
Yes.
persons? Yes, go
Sir,
ahead.
I haven't shared it. So my broad topic is whistleblowers, and the narrow topic is importance of whistleblowers in maintaining good governance.
So it is whistleblowing is the broad topic. The broad topic is whistleblowing, and the narrow topic is how whistleblowers maintain good governance or something like that. Anybody else?
Me, sir.
Go ahead.
So the broad topic for me was cyber crimes, and the narrow topic was ways in which law enforcement can use facial recognition technology to combat crime in Jamaica.
To combat
crime in Jamaica.
Combat
crime in Jamaica.
Okay, thanks, Renee. Anybody else? All right. Go ahead.
Sir, my broad topic is supersonic air travel, and my narrow topic is the impact of supersonic air travel on the environment.
The impact of supersonic air travel on the environment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. As you say that, let me.
Sarah posted something to you in the chat.
Go ahead. Okay, so listen, you can look at this. You can your broad topic is world wars, and the narrow topic is how World War II continues to impact Japan. Or you can say the contemporary impacts of World War II on Japan. Contemporary impacts of World War II on Japan. Who else I said needed to change their narrow topic?
Mr. Carlene.
All right, so your broad topic is pandemics.
Mine, sir.
Yes, hold on. So let me give Carlene first. Broad topic is pandemics, And the narrative topic is how COVID-19 impacted supply chains in the Caribbean. How COVID-19 impacted supply chains in the Caribbean.
Okay, sir.
All right. Is this Oran? Who was talking earlier? Who wanted a topic?
It was
Julia,
Julia,
I want
sir.
to support.
Julia, okay. All right, so Junior, pandemics, broad topic pandemics, narrow topic, how COVID-19 impacted the Black community in the United States. How COVID-19 impacted the Black community in the United States.
Okay.
Was there someone else who was supposed to get a topic?
Sir, can I get one too, please?
Didn't you tell me that you have one already?
Sir, I can't find it.
Okay. Miss Harrison, are you speaking to me?
Yes, sir.
Then you speak aloud. You are mumbling. I don't understand why you're mumbling.
So I was.
But hold on, I think I'm speaking to somebody before. Actually, just had the idea in my head. Where the idea in my head? Where did I put it? How? No, not how. Because I think I'm using too much how. That benefits causes of. Who am I speaking to?
Kamisha.
Okay. What's your major, Kamisha?
Business admin.
Okay. I still have to give it something else. How so the broad topic is world wars, and the narrow topic is the impact Sesame Street has on traumatized kids from war-torn areas. The impact Sesame Street has on children, as on traumatized children from war-torn areas. Tell me if you understand what I just said.
Sir, can I repeat it? Did I break a little bit?
The impact Sesame Street has on traumatized children from war-torn areas.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that's for everybody, right? All right, what I want for you to do for me now is I'm going to put it in groups of 3. And I want you to, I think I've given you before, but I know that you have additional information. I want you to find a video. Yes?
You went back over everyone on?
Yes,
Everybody?
I did.
Okay. So can I go?
Go ahead.
So our broad topic is gender and sexuality. Now our topic, problem faced by LGBT members in Jamaica.
I think isn't somebody doing that already? Who is doing that? Who is doing that?
Gender and sexuality, so remember I have this long, when I chose it, no one did, so I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Sir?
Yes?
So you said you didn't like my broad topic and my narrow topic.
Which is what again?
Schizophrenia and college students in the United States.
Okay. All right, hold on. I want you to look at the my brain is not got it. When I gave you these things, my brain is working. I think because I got up so early this morning, my brain is not working. Let's see what's happening in the news. How really does reaction to history, feminist, embracing. So ways in which impact benefits of how racism is treated, or how racism is addressed in European football. How racism is addressed in European football. The broad topic, that's your narrow topic. The broad topic is sports. All right, so how racism is addressed in European football.
Okay,
If you never watch European football, now is the time. Okay, I think that's it. All right, so now I want us to for you to find a TED Talk that you think reflects how you want to present your own TED Talk. It reflects the idea of how you want to. No, hold on, let me play one thing first. Even though you have watched it before, I'm going to play it again and then we do that activity. one more. Yes, we did play this before, but
was one to remember for all the right, but also all of the wrong reasons. You see, I used to drag race cars, and this one particular day, I had reached the finals for the very first time. It was just me and one other person going head to head. We go up to the start line, and that line flashes green. We're down the racetrack, but unfortunately, he got a better jump than I did. I'm slowly creeping up as we go towards that finish line, but unfortunately, again, that finish line crossed before I could take first place. I finished in second place. It wasn't first, but it was my best finish ever. I was elated. Little did I know, my day, in that moment, I was at the peak of my day, headed for a valley. What would happen later is something my family still talks about in a joking manner nonetheless. Are you hooked? Well, any strong presentation will tell a story. It'll keep your audience locked in from start to finish. Hello world, my name is Mike Ploger here with Visme, and if you stick around, not only will I tell you the 7 different ways to structure your presentation, I'll also finish my story and give you something to laugh about. Before we get to the 7 different ways to structure your presentation, it's important to thoroughly plan your message in a rough draft. First, you gotta decide if you want your message to be informative, inspiring, persuasive, or entertaining. It can be 1 or 2 of these, but don't try to cover the entire map. Then you want your title to be the very first slide in your presentation to set the tone for what you want to accomplish. Start jotting your ideas down on paper and establish your main focal points. This will make writing your actual presentation much, much easier. If you're looking to inform or inspire, the fact and story presentation structure is a great place to start. Here you intertwine facts into your stories to keep your audience interested. You start with what is. This is the present reality or the current situation at hand. This statement should be completely factual, and from there, you turn to what could be to express potential improvements. By going from facts to stories, your audience constantly wants more. However, it is important to reach that finish line in your presentation. Your viewers will feel like they've learned something new and they'll be inspired to act, so make it easy for them to do so by drawing out exactly how they can create change. This TED Talk by David McCandless and the beauty of data visualization is a perfect example of fact and story. He combined his own data with personal stories that the audience can relate to. Our second presentation structure is the explanation. The explanation's purpose is to inform about a process, create a plan to fix a problem, or even to learn something new. This is typically used by consultants or salespeople trying to create new master plans. You start at the bottom with the lay of the land. This shows where things are, but you want to establish a plan of attack to reach your destination. You should start with a story to keep your audience excited. You then step up to the roadmap. This is an actual visual representation on how you'll reach your destination. The audience by now is on the right track. Your first steps begin the adventure, while the next steps are somewhere in the middle, laying out each step one by one by one. When you're almost there, you look back at just how far you've come. And finally, the arrival is when you've reached your destination and the audience feels enlightened with new knowledge. Try watching this TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. She explains how power poses affect difficult situations, and at the end, she even invites us all to try it in a 2-minute practice of power posing. Just as it sounds, the pitch is all about expressing an idea to solve a problem or to improve something. Have you ever seen the show Shark Tank? It's one of my favorites because you see small companies and individuals that are pitching their product to potential investors. In the pitch, there are a series of events to take place. First is the wind-up. These are facts that you want your audience to relate to and to understand. After that comes the hurdle. This is a problem or the problem that you have a solution for. Present this in a story so the emphasis is doubled. After diagnosing the problem, shed some light on the idea and how the problem can be solved. This is called the vision. Then comes the important part. Present solid options that would solve the issue. Use tests, experiments, research, data, anything you possibly have as proof in a story to give backbone to your ideas. And finally, you want to close out with your best option. Tell the audience the fine print on what the next steps to take are, and finish with the hook, the conclusion, with an added bonus to the solution. Check out this pitch by Enrique Sala. After 10 years of research, he's hoping to turn high seas into natural reserves, solving oceanic destruction and low fish supply. Typically in our lives, we like to avoid drama in any way possible, but that doesn't have to be the case in a presentation. This style follows a main character or group of people through all the trials and tribulations they're experiencing before finishing with an inspiring success story. There are 8 steps in this structure, and you start with one fine day. This sets the scene of the story. There's nothing great going on, nothing bad, everything is just fine. Suddenly, a challenge appears. This is a problem that must be solved, and you attack it with a descending crisis, but unfortunately, that just makes everything worse. You've now reached rock bottom. Your story is at a standstill. And here's a little secret. Pause for added effect. When all seems lost, some light shines through to get you right back on your feet, and with this new discovery, you're fighting to get back to where you started in the rise. Before long, you've reached the return. This is where everything is normal again. But why stop there? You've reached a conclusion, but you've also learned an invaluable lesson along the way. Your audience is inspired, they're informed, and they're even entertained a little bit with a great comeback story. This TED Talk by Adam Driver is a perfect example. This takes you through his journey of being a Marine, becoming an actor, and the lessons he learned along the way. One of the most popular presentation structures in the sales world is situation, complication, resolution. It's a very simple style, simply connected with the words but and therefore. You start with a neutral statement like, the team is playing well lately. Then a complication happens, and that's where the word but comes in. The team is playing well lately, but their best player just went down with a knee injury. You want to make sure you use facts to back everything up in your statement. It's also much easier to break down these facts when creating a resolution. Finally, you're coming close to your destination when you use the word therefore. The team is playing well lately, but their best player just went down with a knee injury. Therefore, someone else must step up and improve their play. You want to make sure you are always backing up your statements with facts and statistics. Paul Greenberg did an excellent job of this in his TED Talk, explaining how the world is overeating certain types of seafood and what can be done to fix that. Our 6th presentation structure is nearly identical to our last model. This is situation, opportunity, resolution. Everything remains the same as our last one, but the movement now trends upwards. The problem here, it's not too hard to fix. It's even looked at as more of an opportunity than an issue. These presentations, though, are often the shortest, which is where the trick lies. The audience at the end might question, is that all? So make sure you throw in a story to make your presentation more relatable and more effective. This TED Talk by Adam Galinsky incorporates personal stories and proof about the difficulty of speaking up at the right time. Our final presentation structure is the hook, meet, and payoff. This is very similar to the drama as it relies very heavily on storytelling. It all starts with the hook. This is where you're laying the foundation to get your audience on the edge of their seats. Then comes the meat. This is the most detailed section of your presentation, and it can typically consist of a list or a timeline to help your audience follow along. Then you want to close with the payoff. This is an inspiring conclusion that should reference the beginning of your presentation, and it should leave your audience feeling inspired. Think of the last time that you saw a really good movie. You likely left that movie theater or your couch feeling inspired and wanting to do good. That's exactly what this presentation style is. Jo Bolt-Taylor, a neuroautonomist, suffered a brain hemorrhage, and she takes us through her 8-year journey of recovery, and she even uses a real brain to grab her audience's attention. This is one of the best TED Talks that I've ever seen, and I encourage you to click here and watch for yourself. Now, you're not done just yet. After you decide which presentation style best fits you, it's now time to create a storyboard. Think of yourself as a filmmaker. A storyboard can lay out the aspects of your presentation in a visual draft of sorts. To make it very easy to visualize, create your storyboard with index cards. Each card can represent a different slide in your presentation. And by putting it on paper first, it makes it much easier to edit, and it doesn't get any easier than editing with Visme. A very shameless plug, I know, but Visme is completely free. You can edit a blank canvas with videos and animations and audio. You can edit text and images to fit your style. There are endless possibilities with Visme. And before we go, I do want to tell you to rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. TED speakers say you should rehearse a minimum of 10 times before doing the real thing. You want it to seem professional, and you want your presentation to flow naturally. Now, at the beginning of this video, I told you all about my drag racing story and how I was at the peak of my day and I was headed for that valley, right? Well, that valley happened later on that evening when I decided to show off my skills on my stilts that I owned in front of my family and friends. And well, what happens when you try to show off and your confidence is high? Well, you're brought back down to earth. Literally. I was brought back down to earth in a big fall and I broke both of my arms. Yes, one of the most embarrassing stories in my life, and I have now just told the entire YouTube universe. Thank you for listening. Hey, before.
All right. I'm sure. Can you tell us remind us some of the organizational styles of TED Talk or structure of TED Talk? Some of the ones he mentioned 7, but how many of them can you actually remember?
Facts and
story, right? Pitch.
So fact and story, the pitch.
Explanation.
Explanation.
The
drama.
Mm-hmm.
Situation, complication, resolution.
Okay, good. You seem to remember a whole lot. I hope you remember the definitions as well, based for the activity that you're going to do next. So I'm going to put you in groups of 4 groups, equal. Room 1, which is Sarita, Lorian, Oren, and Lorian and Oren Walters, Sajel White. You are going to look at the example of the hook, meet, and payoff. So you're going to find not what was mentioned in the video, but a different example of that organizational style of TED Talk, and kind of walk us through in terms of the purpose, who you think the audience. Let me put some of the other things in there. So identify purpose, audience, opening, closing, and organizational style. Let's start there for now. This is structure. So you're going to find an actual video, okay? So you're doing hook, meet, and payoff. That's room 1. Room 2, you are going to do for me the pitch. Room 2, the pitch. Room 3, so room 2 is Georgette, Kamalia, Kimisha, and Lishana. Room 3 is Dana, Jerome, Luke, and Renee. You are going to do the explanation. And room 4, Junior, Carlene, Lisane, and Natalia. You're going to do drama for me. You're going to find an example of this particular organizational style of TED Talk, not any that was mentioned in the audiovisual that I just played. And you're going to comment on the purpose, the audience, as well as the opening, the closing, and the right. So purpose, audience, opening, closing, and organizational structure. Which one? Based. So in the case you have to. So room 1. Let me just, because I'm kind of all over the place. Room 1 is hook, meet, and payoff. Room 2 is the pitch. Room 3 is the explanation, and room 4 is the drama. So persons in room 4: Junior, Carlene, Lisane, Natalia. Room 3, Dana, Jerome, Luke, Renee. Room 2, Georgette, Kamalia. Kemisha, Lishana, and room 1, Sarita, Lori, and Oren, and Social. Please go in the breakout room. I'm going to stop you at 8:45. So I'm giving you enough time to actually find the video and understand what is being discussed. Let me post this in the WhatsApp group, even though I've done so before. Oral communication. Jerome, Kamali, and Georgette, you're not in the breakout room.
Sir.
So
Yes.
because my internet tripped us.
You're in there, Georgette. You just need to join. Jerome, what's the issue?
Yes, sir. Just before I go in the room, sir. I joined class a bit late, sir. Just before you play the video. But briefly, I heard them discussing the broad topics and the narrow topics. Were you reviewing it?
And we have moved on, sir. Go into the breakout room for me. I'm not going to review that right now. Go into the breakout room, okay?
Okay, sir.
We can talk about it on the other end of the activity.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir. Sir?
I'm not.
Yes, sir. I was in class earlier, but my data finished. I just got home.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in a breakout room, okay?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yeah, we get back in. Good night again, sir. I can pull back into the room 3, please. Sir? 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 Oh, well, that's another
All right, so let's start with room 1. Seritia, Lorian, Oran, and Social. Go ahead for me.
We're supposed to share the video, right?
Yeah, we need to see at least so that we know that what you are doing is accurate.
That pretty long video. So we just
Behind every inspirational picture, there is an untold story of constant pain, persistent effort, and determination. There are some people in the world.
All right, so, sir,
You don't need to stop so quick. Let's just hear a little bit of it.
Sorry.
Who fight an unseen battle within themselves 24/7 with a big smile on their face. They never cry, they never crip, they never whine. I call such people warriors because these people know the art of living life, and they're way better than those people who just exist in the world. 6.5 years back, I met a car accident. I was traveling from Balochistan to my hometown, Rahimia Khan. The driver slept, and the car fell in the ditch. As a result of that incident, I sustained multiple injuries. The list is a bit long, don't get scared. Radius ulna of right arm were fractured. Shoulder bone and collarbone were fractured. Lungs and liver were badly injured.
Or you can pause now.
Was fractured.
Okay, sir. All right, so the first thing, the organizational I would choose is the hook, meet, and payoff. All right. So the first thing she did in her opening statement where she laid out, she started telling the story. All right. She also mentioned so the audience, even the audience that she is appealing to with this story is people with disabilities. So there's a part where she spoke about she sees these people as warriors. So she's talking to people with disabilities.
So we see the use of imagery or metaphor.
Sir?
No, I'm saying, well, it's not really imagery because it's people, but the notion that she's seeing, she's calling them warriors. It's kind of, it's not metaphor, but it's kind of metaphorical in the sense that these persons who are disabled are warriors they're fighting a different kind of war. But continue.
Yes, sir. Get that. All right. Next thing. Somebody else can pick up. Sorry.
Was there? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so for the meat, where she get into detail was when she said that the driver fell asleep, the car, so she transitioned from the hook, which was laying out the like giving us a quick story or basically getting to what happened. So that would be the meat where she said the car fell in the ditch and she suffered multiple injuries such as the broken bone, rib cage, everything. For the payoff, well, this was to the ending, which you can't get to see that because it's very lengthy. She basically said being in a wheelchair, she's privileged.
We see the ending. Can we just give us a part of the ending?
Okay.
Let's bring it forward so we can see. Because I don't want to rush the analysis and because they're actually doing a graded activity on the analysis. Just bring it closer to the ending.
That's what we are called. That was the
That's
day
not
when
the ending. The ending is all the way down.
Yes, sir. No, this is the
being
part
on
where Lori
wheelchair.
is explaining.
Because being on wheelchair, you can still face the world with a big smile on your face and you can tell the world that you're happy the way you are. No one has right to objectify us as an emblem of misery or mercy. We are human beings. We breathe. We have souls. We are alive. We feel. We don't need your sympathies. We don't need your empathies. Let us live. No one has a right to diss our abilities. We are capable enough to breathe and to live each and every moment of our lives, to inspire. Nothing
This
should
is her
stop
closing,
me.
sir.
This wheelchair should not be the reason or an excuse of not doing anything in life. I still have big dreams. I still have big plans. And I still have to work on that. Be grateful for what you have. And trust me, you will always end up having more. And if you'll cry and if you'll crib for the little things in your life, you will never ever have enough. You want to excel? You want to grow? You want to be powerful and passionate and great professionals? Learn the art of converting your adversities into opportunities. The moment you're going to learn it, sky's the limit. So be grateful, be happy, be alive, and don't let anyone diss your abilities. Thank you.
All right, so yes, go ahead.
Yes, so her closing is she as she said that she still have big dreams, big plans, so she's pretty much inspiring people like her despite of their disabilities.
That no matter the disability, they still to try to dream big and soar above all.
Okay. All right, thanks. I think this was a very good choice. I got the hook, meet, and payoff in it. It is really inspirational. So this is a very, very good one. We will continue our discussion on Wednesday because we have 3 minutes to the hour. I want for room 2 and room 3 and room 4, just come prepared for that discussion on Wednesday rather. My head is going. And then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to post the graded activity on Canvas for you to do. Yes, somebody was saying, sir, go ahead.
Yes, sir. What about the groups that didn't get to present last class?
Yeah, we're going to do next class.
Okay.
Remember, the semester continues into January, so we're not going to rush and try to pack everything into that one class, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. So the other groups that have not presented for this part of it, please come prepared to present on Wednesday. I'm going to then do what I'm supposed to do, and then the persons who didn't present will go after, okay?
Sir.
Yes.
So Wednesday's class, is that the last class for December?
Yep. It's the last class for December.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We continue thereafter.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Night, sir.
Mr. Clark.
Okay.
Yes.